Hey guys, we're on session 4, but part 2 of Summer's chapter. We are on page 127, and then the video after this will be on Jackwell. Warning, this kid is R-rated, page 127. I had warned Mom about August's face. I described what he'd look like. I did this because I know she's not so good at faking her feelings, and August was coming over for the first time today. I even sent her a text at work to remind her about it. But I could tell from her expression on her face when she came home after work that I hadn't prepared her enough. She was shocked when she came through the door and saw his face for the first time. "Hi, Mom. This is Augie. Can he stay for dinner?" I asked quickly. It took a second for my question to even register. "Hi, Augie," she said. Of course, sweetheart, if it's okay with Augie's mother." While Augie called his mother on the cell phone, I whispered to Mom, "Stop making that weirded out face." She had that look like when she's watching the news and some horrific event has happened. She nodded quickly like she hadn't realized she was making a face and was really nice and normal to Augie afterward. After a while, Augie and I got tired of working on our projects and went down to hang out in the living room. Augie was looking at the pictures on the mantle and he saw a picture of me and Daddy. "Is that your dad?" he said. "Yeah." "I didn't know you were, what's the word? Biracial?" "Right, that's the word, yeah." He looked at the picture again. "Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him at a drop-off or anything." "Oh, no," I said. "He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago." "Whoa, I didn't know that." "Yeah," I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. "Wow, look at those medals." "Yeah, he was pretty awesome." "Wow, Summer, I'm sorry." "Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot." "Yeah, wow," he nodded, handing me back the picture. "Have you ever known anyone who died?" I asked. "Just my grandmother, and I don't really even remember her." "That's too bad," Augie nodded. You ever wonder what happens to people when they die?" I asked. He shrugged. "Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my grands went." "I think about it a lot," I said. "I think when people die, their souls go to heaven, but just for a little while. Like that's when they see their old friends and stuff and kind of catch up on old times. But then I actually think the souls start thinking about their lives on earth, like if they were good or bad or whatever. And then they get born again as brand new babies in the world." "Why would they want to do that?" "Because then they would get another chance to get it right," I answered. "Their souls get a chance to have a do-over." He thought about what I was saying and then nodded. "Kind of like when you get a makeup test?" he asked. "Right. But they don't come back looking the same," he said. "I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right?" "Oh, yeah," I answered. "Your soul stays the same, but everything else is different." "I like that," he said, nodding a lot. "I really like that, Summer. That means in my next life I won't be stuck with this face." He pointed to his face when he said that and batted his eyes, which made me laugh. "I guess not," I shrugged. "Hey, I might even be handsome," he said, smiling. "That would be awesome, wouldn't it? I could come back and be this good-looking dude and be super buff and super tall." I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's the one thing I like most about Augie. "Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question?" "Yeah," he said. Like he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. I hesitated. I've been wanting to ask him this for a while, but I've always lost the guts to ask. "What?" he said. "You want to know what's wrong with my face?" "Yeah, I guess it's okay for me to ask?" He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't get mad or sad. "Yeah, it's no big deal," he said casually. "The main thing is I have this thing called mandibulofacial dysostosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce, by the way. But I also have this other thing that I can't even pronounce. And these things kind of just morph together into one big super thing, which is so rare, they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder, you know?" He smiled. "That was a joke," he said. "You can laugh." I smiled and shook my head. "You're funny, Augie," I said. "Yes, I am," he said proudly. "I am cool beans." The Egyptian Tomb. Over the next couple months, August and I hung out after school, a lot after school, either at my house or his house. August's parents even invited Mom and me over for a dinner a couple times. I overheard them talking about fixing Mom up on a blind date with August's Uncle Ben. On the day of the Egyptian Museum exhibit, we were all really excited and kind of giddy. It had snowed the day before. Not as much as it had snowed over the Thanksgiving break, but still, snow is snow. The gym was turned into a giant museum with everyone's Egyptian artifacts displayed on a table with a little caption card explaining what the thing was. Most of the artifacts were really great, but I have to say I really think mine and August were the best. My sculpture of Annabus looked really pretty, and I even used gold paint on it. And August had made a step pyramid out of sugar cubes. It was 2 feet high and 2 feet long, and he had spray painted the cubes, this kind of fake paint or something. It looked so awesome. We all dressed up in Egyptian costumes. Some of the kids were Indiana Jones type archaeologists. Some of them dressed up like pharaohs. August and I dressed up like mummies. Our faces were covered except for 2 little holes for our eyes and 1 little hole for the mouth. When the parents showed up, they all lined up in the hallway in front of the gym. Then we were told we could go get our parents, and each kid got to take his or her parent on a flashlight tour through the dark gym. August and I took our moms around together. We stopped at each exhibit explaining what it was, talking in whispers, answering questions. Since it was dark, we used our flashlights to illuminate the artifacts while we were talking. Sometimes, for dramatic effect, we would hold the flashlights under our chins while we were explaining something in detail. It was so much fun. Hearing all those whispers in the dark, seeing all the lights zigzagging around the dark room. At one point, I went over to get a drink at the water fountain. I had to take the mummy wrap off my face. "Hey, Summer," said Jack, who came over to talk to me. He was dressed like the man from the Mummy. "Cool costume." "Thanks." "Is the other mummy August?" "Yeah." Hey, do you know why August is mad at me?" I nodded. "Can you tell me?" "No." He nodded. He seemed bummed. "I told him I wouldn't tell you," I explained. "It's so weird," he said. "I have no idea why he's mad at me all of a sudden. None. Can you at least give me a hint?" I looked over at where August was across the room talking to our moms. I wasn't about to break my solid oath that I wouldn't tell anyone about what he overheard at Halloween, but I felt bad for Jack. "Bleeding scream," I whispered in his ear, and then walked away. Whoa. So she didn't necessarily tell him, but now Jack knows that he was the one in the bleeding scream costume. So he's the one that heard all the bad things he'd said about him. So, yeah. The next part we're going to be reading is about Jack. But anything that you found interesting in this chapter, if you guys could just summarize it. I know you found out that Summer had a dad that passed away in a war. And so that was something that we didn't know about Summer. And they were kind of talking about the afterlife and different things. If you guys want to comment on any of that. And then talking about the Egyptian tomb. That seems like a really cool project. I wish that we could do something like that. That sounds like a lot of fun. But anyways, I will see you for the next chapter. It will be on Jack. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye.